Reverend Staci Small Lord. Staci, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we're really excited because Staci is going to be starting a new show, and it is going to start this Friday, March 12th at noon Eastern Time, and it's called the Enlightened Plate. Now, Staci, before we get to know you, why don't you tell us what we can expect on the Enlightened Plate?
On the Enlightened Plate, I want it to be, well, it will be a place where everyone can go and focus on healing as far as health wise, foods, no labels, no judgment, cooking some good recipes, and having a place where people can go and express themselves and talk about food and healing and what it means, and just be a group of like minded people that are wanting to experience new foods and healing and love and joy. And it's a spiritual thing. It's food is just such a spiritual thing. People bring it into conversations, and we celebrate with food and everything. And there's a lot of judgment around it sometimes, and I want to get rid of that and just bring it in and enjoy it.
Well, and I know for me, if I eat certain foods, I just don't feel good
Yes.
physically. So is that part of what you're going to be talking about too? Getting to know the foods that resonate with you?
Yes, yes, and getting to know your body, and listening to your body about certain foods, because what might work for one person to heal them and make them feel good might not work for the other person. What helps me may not help you, but it might. So we'll share that and get to know our bodies and in tune with our bodies and what foods help us and what foods we should maybe avoid.
So the other day we were talking about energy in food. And do you find that each food has its own energy to it?
I do find that there are times if I just look at a picture of berries, blueberries, raspberries, or have a bowl of it in my house, I just feel so energized. I can feel that energy coming back from it, and it makes me feel so energized and healthy and happy. And then other times I look at food, and it just makes me feel like just kind of, just not uplifted. So yes, I do believe in the energy of food and how it's prepared, even, or who's preparing it, the energy that they put into it.
Right. So my grandfather on my dad's side was a fruit rancher, and they had 300 acres of fruit trees back over in Yakima Valley, Washington State. And so anything that has to do with apples and apricots and cherries and pears, it just I just feel it in my heart, and it's one of the one of the food groups that is absolutely always in my refrigerator. I might go a week without fresh vegetables in there, but there is always fresh fruit in there, and I know that that just came down on the DNA for
Right.
me.
That's I have a lot more fruit than vegetables, and I do love vegetables, but just fruit. There's just something about fresh fruit that just energizes me.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Well, so Staci, tell us a little bit about you. What is it that brought you to want to bring a show to Enlightened World Network about food and cooking? What do you think Spirit was working on there?
Healing, because when I was 43, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease out of the blue. No idea it was going to happen, no indication of anything other than, some stomach aches here and there. And Christmas Eve in 2010, I had a full flare, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know, you know, what was causing it. They told me it was the flu. And so I went home, and 2 weeks later, I'm still very ill and sick. And then I went to the doctor, and they put me in the hospital, and they ran these tests, and I was told that I have Crohn's disease. Anybody with Crohn's knows it's a tough thing to live with. And they gave me medication, and the medication just made me feel worse. And so, with my doctor's blessing, of course, I decided I was going to look into food and the healing aspects of food. And I started eating a certain diet, and I eliminated grains and beans and incorporated more health food like fresh fruits and veggies and lean grass-fed meats and stuff. And within 6 months, my doctor was just so surprised that I was up and going without my medication. And that inspired me. And I just want to help others do it. And that's why I want to do a cooking show as well. So I can say, this is what helped me. This could possibly help you, and give and take something. Maybe you take something away from that.
Right, that's beautiful. And you are also a holistic health and wellness coach.
Yes. Yes.
What's the background in that?
I decided to do that because I just wanted to learn more about helping other people that might be suffering with depression or Crohn's disease, skin ailments, and so forth. So, in order to learn more, I wanted to take that course to find out more about foods and how it helps us. And then there's also the aspect of our primary foods is our spirituality, our relationships, our careers, things that we don't think of that can be causing us to have effects on our health as well. If you have lack of support, that can be, very harmful to your health.
Right, that whole spirit body connection is so strong. And I'm still learning more and more how strong it really is. It's fascinating to me.
And me too. It's mind, body, soul, and it's all connected. And I've learned so much about how your gut has the same amount of receptors as your brain. And
Mm.
when you're told to follow your gut, literally you're following your intuition and your instinct. And that just something I learned in school. And it was like, wow, I didn't even think. And when your stomach is upset, then you have anxiety, feeling of anxiety. And so you got to get all these lined up.
Right, right. And food is critical in that, absolutely. How we treat ourselves is critical in all that. So, Staci, folks don't find their way to Enlightened World Network unless they've got a connection with spirit. Can you talk about your spiritual journey that you've been on in this life?
My spiritual journey has been one of ups and downs, like I'm sure most people. Um, my spiritual journey, well, the beginning of my life was quite difficult. It was, I don't want to go too much into that, but my first spiritual journey began when I left my first husband and I was guided by angels. I could feel them with their hands on my shoulders, just moving me out the door, and my fear was lost, went away. And then I met my husband now, and he's just so wonderful. And I met this group of people in Palm Beach that just shared their life with me. Joseph Labruto, Terry Angel, and that group just helped me and lifted me. And I started to be open and learning and found love in myself. And to this day, it's a journey. It's still every day I'm learning something new, but I found my way here. The angels just brought me, and Terry, and it's amazing. I don't even know the words to use.
Yeah, yeah. So, would you consider yourself to be pretty intuitive?
I am.
And has this been a lifelong thing for you?
It has. When I was 7, I saw auras around people, and I thought everybody did. I thought that was quite normal, and come to find out, it's not. And then I saw my grandfather who passed away the day my daughter was born. He came to visit me in the hospital room, and
Mm.
I'll never forget that day. It was like looking at you right now, and he smiled at me and went away. And so I've had a connection with angels and loved ones on the other side, and it's something I was bringing out a lot more, and then like, kind of waves back and forth.
So, have you always had support for that aspect of you, or before you met Terry and Joseph and that group, did you feel like you were kind of out there on your own, or did
Yeah.
you have support for that?
I had a few people that were very supportive of that, but and then not really, no. So that kind of, made me push it in the background and let it go. And it was there, and it wants to come out, but there's that fear because there's judgment. There's judgments, and being told you're going somewhere that's not quite nice when you go on the other side just because you have gifts. That's kind of held me back as well. But right now I feel so strong that I'm really just going to put myself out there.
Great. And I'm so glad that you are, and I'm so glad that you feel comfortable to do that with Enlightened World Network. So if people come to you as a light worker, as a holistic health and wellness coach, what can they expect from working with you?
They can expect to feel safe and really listened to and loved. And they can feel like they've got somebody on their side that will support them and encourage them and give them the positive energy that they're looking for. Everything that I was looking for that I have found now, I want to give to somebody else.
And what I do know about you, Staci, from all of the time we've spent together with Enlightened World, you are always so warm and compassionate and so genuine and real. And I appreciate that so much about you. And I know that folks coming to work with you would experience that
Thank
as
you.
well. Yeah. So, Staci, if folks want to learn more about you and follow your work, how do they find you?
I have a Facebook page that I created, and it's called I Am, and So It Is. That's on Facebook, and I have an Instagram. I'm Mama Lord 4, and I'm going to be working on a website. This is the year that I really am putting myself out there. So I will have more information on those two things soon.
Excellent. And so we are looking forward to Enlightened Plate, the Enlightened Plate, on starting March 12th at 12 o'clock noon. It's going to be a live event. And Staci's going to be cooking with us, sharing recipes with us, and helping us understand that physical body mind connection even that much better through the foods that we choose to eat and that impact with us. And I know that body image and loving ourselves is a big piece of this as well. So looking forward to that. That's going to be coming to EWN, Enlightened Living, here on Enlightened World Network. So Staci, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited and I can't wait.
I can't wait to. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. Much love to all of you. Take good care and God bless.